How are you? And we're addressing what's love got to do with it. The trauma based experience that we as African Americans experienced through the Atlantic slave trade, Jim Crow, civil rights, and thus far. I'm sitting with a good friend, O'Day, and he posed the question, how can I soften the content? O'Day, would you like to ask any questions to start?
Well, I think we have to address the problem in absence of the history, but as it stands now. Because when we start looking back too far, it becomes a phenomenal quest to address the problem. So I think we have to look at the prevailing conditions that we're operating in now in order to address it.
I appreciate that response, but my mind is Sankofa. Go back and get it. If we don't look back, we'll never know where we're going. And we have to address the fact that we've all experienced traumatic experiences, especially at the hands of the barbaric European, and how it demolished the system of the African American family. And that's why we're so separate right now. We're separate from even ourselves and the true identity that we should walk in divinity and grace. And we can't even do that because we look through the European for validation. And how can we validate our own self and our own experience and live an authentic life? How can we embrace our women, the men embrace the women, and the men embrace the women, and the women embrace the men? I've been hearing a lot on YouTube channels how Black men don't want, African American men don't want the Black woman. They've moved out of the country. They're picking and choosing other than us. And I still ask the question, why? How can we bridge that gap of unity and bring up the community in love?
Well, you've covered quite a wide breadth of things here, and it's going to be difficult for me to know what I'm supposed to be responding to. But to narrow it down to my perspective is that this extensive looking back can cloud the water of the situations we're facing now. And I'm more of the view that we should look at where we are with a view of where we want to be, and also any immediate recent history, which is responsible for our present predicament. Now, we don't need to be informed about the dreadful legacy that slavery has impacted on the African community worldwide. I think the conversation has to now move on to how do we mend our broken fences. And in order to do that, I think we should start at this point. Where are we now? And then move forward from there.
I agree with you with moving forward, but where do we start moving forward?
Well, I think we have to accept that where we are is a direct related to where we've been left by history. But I think it's imperative for us to keep at the front of our mind that history doesn't make humans, it's humans that make history. And we are, as a people, we're at that pivotal point now where we have to make a new history. We have to determine what our new history will be. And so to continue to look back on our old history will consume valuable time that we need to make our new history. Now, history starts from the moment and the moment now is Donald Trump. That's the moment we're at. And we've got to address this moment from the point of view that Donald Trump is questioning, or not Trump himself, but the can I use an overused term, the right-wing American community are saying that, look, all this black paraphernalia such as Martin Luther King Day, or it is also the privacy program, and we should know how to go forward without that legacy. Now, I'd like us to look at that today. Are they correct to say that? this black, they are black, this black, that. Are they correct to say that it's divisive and stopping social interaction and progress? And then we'll know where we're going now. But the matter of the legacy of slavery, it's a foregone conclusion. We don't have to investigate that anymore. We're living it, we're feeling it. And what we have to do is be talking about the next step forward.
I agree. But still, what would be your next 2 steps to move forward?
Well, earlier in the session of tape, Miss Julian said to me that she knows that I'm not comfortable with reference to us as a people as blacks. But I think the more important question is, why are so many African Americans comfortable with the terminology black? That's really is the asking question. Not whether if I am not comfortable with it. The real question is, why are millions of African Americans and many in the diasporas comfortable with the identity badge blacks? And I think that is one of the first hurdles to move forward. We've got to change the narrative. We've got to change the language. And as that great Chinese philosopher stated, I think it's Confucius, he said, once you get the name right, everything else will fall in place. So until we as a people acknowledge and accept that to continue to refer to ourselves in the demeaning manner of blacks, until we can address that and re-embrace our Africanism, then we're on a lost journey.
Well, I'd like to thank you. And there you have it from O'Day himself. The first thing we have to do is reinvent who we are, not reinvent the wheel. But what's love got to do with it anyway? Black or African American? Let me know. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.